An October morning in Ohio, 2022. Something awful has happened in this seemingly ordinary home.
He'd come out screaming out of his house and he thinks his wife is dead in bed.
50-year-old Rochelle Broussard is dead. Her boyfriend of 26 years, Toby, found her body in suspicious circumstances.
Did you see these three people?
He's frantic with grief, but as the cops investigate, they realize there's something more to the story.
Was there anybody else there?
Not that I saw.
A new home, a horrific attack, and a shocking trial. Exclusive interview footage. This is the story of Toby Madden. Around 10 a.m., October 11th. It's a quiet morning on a suburban street in Hamilton, Ohio, but it won't be quiet for long. Toby Madden's come out onto the street in great distress.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
1280 Paris Avenue.
Something horrible has happened to his wife.
My neighbor knows.
This was supposed to be their dream home. Now it's a crime scene. And Rochelle Broussard is dead. Residents on this street are left rattled, trying to piece together what just happened.
How old is she?
You know what I mean? She's a year older, about 50, early 50s.
Probably 50.
Yeah.
Rochelle was born in Hamilton, but she's only been living in this specific house for a week. She and her partner Toby were renovating it together. They've been in a relationship for 26 years, and they have a daughter who is herself an adult. She's left home and has her own life, leaving Toby and Rochelle with an empty nest. They're looking towards eventual retirement and the next chapter of their lives together, but it's not to be.
What did you think when you heard that scream?
Well, can I give an example?
Sure.
It was like you open the door and something flew at you. It was just a ah! Like that.
When the cops enter the house via the front entrance, they find both Rochelle and Toby. Toby is on top of Rochelle, giving her CPR.
I could visually see that she was far gone, and there was no reason to do chest compressions at this time, so I grabbed him by his shirt and pulled him off of her. I saw multiple stab wounds across her entire stomach and arms. There was a lot of blood. Her skin was very pale.
Those aren't the signs of a medical emergency. This is murder.
Well, at this time, I did not know if there was anyone else left in the house that possibly could have done this to her.
But the house is empty. It's not just the evidence of moving, however. It's also the evidence of a violent attack. In an autopsy, the medical examiner discovers that Rochelle has been stabbed 55 times.
The vast majority of the stab wounds she sustained were in the chest and abdominal area. There were a few on the hands and arms, in between the fingers, forearms, locations typically seen when an individual is trying to defend themselves during an attack like this.
Okay.
He finds that her injuries were probably caused by a small foldable knife, like a Swiss Army knife. The couple's neighbor just can't believe what's happened.
This is weird. They're redoing the house, so they're redoing a lot of work on it. And I mean, they're just like every day they're moving more stuff in. But this past week probably the one and only time they actually spent the night there. Because I guess they still have their other home.
From a dream house to a tomb, the renovations would never be finished.
You ever come fight her?
I think this house renovation thing has served them crazy. That's fair to say.
Toby and Rochelle were under pressure, the way any couple in the middle of a move would be. Sometimes they snap.
What did Toby look like? What do you look like? Was he?
Honestly, I thought maybe he just got out of bed. Woke up. His hair was disarray. You know what I mean? Like going every which way.
Bedhead?
Yeah. And, I mean, he was dressed in like, shorts and a shirt. That's why I wonder if maybe, I mean, I'm just assuming, wake up and get startled, something like that. But I'm not sure.
Did he have blood on him or anything like that? You weren't that close to him?
No, I didn't want to get that close because I don't really know him. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Toby seems to have been honestly surprised by an attack that left his partner dead. But who could have done this, and why? Cops take Toby back to the station with them. Understandably, he's freaking out.
Hey, you need something? Just a drink. Okay, can I get you some water? No, get you paper towels. Okay. You're wasting time, man. No, no. Yes, no. Toby, I had to get information from you to figure this stuff out. Okay? Because I need to know when was the last time you saw her.
He doesn't stay in the chair long. Soon, he's collapsed to the floor. But the investigators have a job to do.
So you were sleeping in the house? One person was supposed to turn the gas on. One person was supposed to turn the gas on? But you saw 3 people? You saw... There was 3 people. So there were 2 out back.
Through Toby's garbled statements, they managed to piece together an account of the morning. Toby and Rochelle were sleeping in the house, their first night there since they moved. That morning, contractors were scheduled to come and do a test on the gas. They arrived early, as arranged.
And then what happened? They were talking about fixing the gas and the hot water because we didn't have hot water. Okay. And then what? I went to sleep. Okay. And when you woke up, what happened? I was asleep. You heard screaming? Okay.
He says he slept through the contractor's visit. When he woke up again, Rochelle was dead.
Toby, do you know anybody that might have wanted to hurt her? No. Did you guys have anything of value in the house worth taking? They come to do the gas. Yeah. They come to do the gas. Okay. So that we can get the rest of the stuff for the house.
His statement is confused, but it sounds like he's accusing the gas workers of stealing from them. Stealing, and maybe something worse. Dutifully, the cops follow this up. They find the contractors and talk to them that very afternoon.
The gas service had been on for over a year, so we have to perform an air test on it, just to make sure there ain't no leaks on it. Okay. So we were in the basement. We did that, and as we're running in and out, they were down there in the basement most of the time, but I'm running in and out talking to the lady. There's a guy laying in a chair right there.
According to them, it was a very routine service call.
So that room, so when you guys walked in the front door, nothing looked like it was disarranged or like a big fight had just broken out. You said there was a couch and like a little chair.
Yeah, as soon as you walked through that front door, there was a couch on that back
here.
wall. Yeah.
They remember seeing Toby sleeping on a couch while they handled the gas.
If they're laying there, I kind of like try to leave them alone like they're sleeping, because it's early. Try to be quiet.
They arrived at 8 a.m. on the dot. It was Rochelle who let them in, just a few hours before the 911 call and Toby's frantic screams.
What we're getting to is intentional.
What do you mean?
Not accidental.
Oh yeah, this is not accidental.
Okay.
No.
Like a heart attack or something.
Something bad's happened after you guys left.
The workers left around half an hour later at 8:30. At this time, Rochelle was still alive. The workers seem honest and reliable. Her death is nothing to do with them. Meanwhile, alone in the interrogation room, Toby is still hysterical.
Oh, baby's gone. Oh, baby's gone. I'll find these people. I'll find these people. Oh my God, she's gone. Yes, sir. What am I going to do now? What am I going to do? Well, what am I going to do? I've been with her for 26 years. Yeah. Well, what am I going to do? I'm hoping you're going to help me figure out how to do it. God. Oh my God. Hey, Toby. Listen. Yeah. There were people after me. There were people after you? Yeah. Who's after you? I don't know exactly.
In the middle of Toby's grief-stricken rant, he says something interesting. That there are people after him, and the detective knows a thing or two about this.
I need your help, okay? But listen, I guess you were supposed to be in court this morning, and you didn't show up for court. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. Well, I'm just telling you that they issued a warrant for you, so hold on. But since you got a warrant, I gotta read this to you, okay?
This is not Toby's first run-in with the law. In September 2021, he was seen behaving erratically in the public lobby of the Butler County Jail. He had 2 carry-on suitcases with him, and he walked up to one of the cops, ranting about how there were people out to get him. He told the cop he had information on some big-time players involved in drug trafficking, and he wanted protection in exchange for what he knew. He said he knew where a large quantity of drugs were located, but wouldn't tell the cops where. When they searched his suitcases, the truth became evident. He himself had the drugs, 11 ounces of crystal meth, worth nearly $2,500. The package was open, and his erratic behavior suggested that he'd taken some himself. But it was evident that he was a small player in some larger scheme. It's common practice for police departments not to charge people with lower-level drug offenses, but instead to turn them into a confidential informant, allowing them to work off the charge. In other words, the cops have bigger fish to fry. This is the choice they offered to Toby in the police department that day. He agreed and gave them his contact details. Then they dropped him off at a hotel, hoping that once his high wore off, he would be a productive source of information. But they never heard from him again. As a result, they eventually charged him. He was due in court on the morning of October 11th, but he didn't show up. He has a fine due and a warrant for his arrest hanging over him. So in the interview room, they arrest him for failure to comply with a court order. He also has a previous felony conviction from 1988 for aggravated assault. He was sentenced to serve 3 to 15 years at a maximum security prison in Mansfield. It's been almost a whole lifetime since that incident, and they can't be related, can they? The investigators take his clothes to test them for DNA and other physical evidence.
It's right here, search warrant for you, okay? Yeah. Just so we can take pictures of you, but I'm also taking your clothes and stuff, okay?
What's it? Like for these clothes?
Yes, sir.
These are clothes I never had when I was in Dallas.
Yeah, I know, that's why we're taking them. Yeah. Because they got the blood on it.
Well, I was on top of her, trying to breathe into her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there might be other people's blood on it.
You want to see if I hurt Rochelle?
Well, we got to document. You got all these injuries, so we have to document your injuries.
This ain't injuries.
Yeah, they are. You got marks on you and abrasions.
Okay.
Photos that I took of Mr. Madden on October 11th of 2022. I took photos of his arms due to the fact that he had appeared to be scratch marks on an arm, and then I think he had an abrasion on his right arm. There's also photos of his chest area, appeared to be scratches across his chest and along his back. I continued to talk to Mr. Madden. He advised that at some point in time he did hear some screaming, but he wasn't sure if it was just in his dream or whether that was in fact the case. He said that's the room he was in when he woke up, walked out, and then found Miss Broussard on the ground.
In a case like this, a woman murdered in the presence of her sleeping partner and no one else in the house, suspicion has to fall on Toby, and Toby's not happy about it.
We didn't know you had a warrant when we came in this room.
So why am I still here?
Well, we were just wanting to speak with you about it.
No, but why am I still here? I've been there for a long time. Why am I still here?
How long have you been here?
He's been in the interrogation room for 4.5 hours by this point. It's a long time with no explanations and no answers. But around 45 minutes later, the investigators return for his side of the story.
I need more information about what happened.
No, I don't want to discuss anything with you right now. Okay. I'd like to find out too myself.
Right.
Do you know I got some people after me?
No, I don't.
You're probably the only one in Hamilton that don't know that.
So you think people are after you because of the map?
I think so. Do I think?
It's not just the cops that are after him. It's apparently meth dealers as well. And according to Toby, they showed up last night.
Michelle was looking down the Kroger and picked me up. But because I couldn't walk from there. It was almost dark. You could see that they were out. You could see them just coming in. They were just coming. They were walking up on me right by the door. They followed me down the house.
Toby believes he's been stalked. and that his life is truly under threat. Is that why he and Rochelle moved from Kentucky back to Hamilton, Ohio? Were they running away? And had whatever they were running from followed them? He says that back in Kentucky, he was using meth and he got mixed up in some criminal dealings. Once, when he was hanging out with these people, they stole about $5,000 worth of his property.
Might not have been a lot to him, but it was to me. And yeah. He calls me 987 said he'd taken a hit. I told him, of course I could see him like get my money. I don't know how much his hit was. Maybe it was enough for them to put stuff inside my suitcase without me going and having it dropped off to me.
This is Toby's explanation of the suitcase incident, that the meth wasn't his, but belonged to the people who'd stolen from him. When he turned it in to the cops, he put his life in danger, and they put a bounty on his head.
Didn't make a move on me last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what happened? You obviously didn't get snatched up.
No, you could see on the, you could see on the cameras, man, me being, I was right by the door. I was right by the door and I had to go in and,
The door to Kroger? Okay.
But,
do you remember what time that was?
It's right when it was getting dark.
It was getting dark? Okay.
Somehow, he escaped them last night.
Do you have any way of contacting these guys or this group or anything? Do you know what the group's called or anything?
No, but...
He can't identify the people threatening him, but he says he's terrified.
Everything I do, I'm gonna have to be armed and,
What do you have to be armed with?
For me, just to be able to walk out to the car.
Yeah. Do you have any weapons?
No.
Is this genuine fear or a telling slip?
Are you the lead detective that's assigned to this case?
Yes, sir. Mr. Madden had told me in one of the interviews while we were talking that there were people following him around Kroger the night before, that he'd been at Kroger, and that they followed him up and down aisles, and he thought they were trying to abduct him. So based on that, I went to Kroger on Route 4, which is the closest Kroger to that location. By going there, I had the information from Mr. Madden's card, and I asked them if they could run that through their system to see if he did in fact use his card there at their store. They were able to find that he was in the store around 7:40 p.m. Checking out. I requested the video from Kroger for that incident. Initially, they could only show it to me. They weren't able to download it yet. They had to get a tech person to do it. So I took some photos on my phone just to see what he was wearing. I went back to the police department and looked through the crime scene photos, and I observed some of the items that Mr. Madden was wearing the night before were in our crime scene photos.
All right, what are we looking at here, Detective?
This is the exit camera for Kroger. It's actually on a different system at the time. They had two different systems running. So this is as you leave the U-scan and walk out the front of the Kroger out to the main entrance. So that's Mr. Madden walking out. You see the clothing that he's wearing, carrying his bag, and then he just looks in the bag and just walks out the front door.
And you didn't see anybody chasing him or anything like that, did you?
No, sir. This is when Mr. Madden first comes up to the U-scan. You can see it's a top-down shot. You can see the gray and black hat, the green and black vest, along with a gray shirt and shorts and his gym shoes. There's no holes or blood appear to be on either item. Once again, the green vest, the hat, and the shirt, there seems to be no blood or damage to either item. Again, a closer up look, there's no holes, no cuts, no blood. Mr. Madden standing there, doesn't seem to be looking around for anybody, just standing at the U-scan.
The investigators turn to that morning, probing Toby's story. He repeats that he fell asleep after the gas workers arrived, and when he woke up, Rochelle was on the floor. The investigator projects empathy, acting as a shoulder to cry on. It's imperative that Toby trusts him.
Toby, may I ask you a question? You said you used meth last year. Are you still using that?
I've done it. I've done some here and there.
Okay. You remember the last time you remember the last time you did meth?
I think it was a couple days ago.
A couple days ago? Okay.
I did a little, and
the reason why I asked, because, I mean, you said you couldn't sleep and you were, you know, just awake and then you were just like you kind of crashed. Were you up for a couple days?
I was up trying to get the place ready for we can get going, because the person that was supposed to do the work actually took it paid him $2,500 up front, then gave him $3,000 to buy material.
Toby doesn't directly answer the question, so the detective asks another.
After you did CPR on her and all that stuff, did you ever try to clean up?
What do you mean? Try to clean up?
Like, did you wash your hands or try to clean yourself up at all?
You mean like get blood off of me?
Yes.
I went into when I done the CPR on her. It was there was blood that was in my mouth.
Yeah.
It was in my mouth.
Okay.
My face, to where when I was pressing her chest.
Again, he seems to dodge the question. This is telling. When they were examining the crime scene, the cops found red stains in the bathroom sink that tested positive for blood, like someone had tried to clean themselves up.
Based off my observations with an unaided eye, I suspected there to be more evidence of blood within or around the sink that had been rinsed, washed, or cleaned up in some manner. And so I then applied a product known as Blue Star.
What is Blue Star?
So Blue Star is a successor to luminol. The jurors have ever seen any type of crime documentaries or CSI shows, you might know this as where if blood is suspected to have been cleaned up at a crime scene, they spray this and it fluoresces blue, generally speaking. A little bit more sensitive, provides a more intense fluorescent reaction that you can better document, and it does not interfere with DNA analysis. State's Exhibit 77 is the same sink in the same bathroom at the same residence at 1270 Parish Avenue. When you apply Blue Star, you get what's known as a chemoluminescent reaction. A chemical reacts with the hemoglobin that's in blood. Having applied it to the sink, I suspected that there may have been blood elsewhere within that bathroom. And when I applied it to the floor directly underneath the sink, I got another indication of where there could have been blood at some point in relation to this.
They also found a Swiss Army knife inside a backpack in the house. It appeared to have been washed. The detective is closing in on the holes in Toby's story. They've also spoken to his and Rochelle's daughter, Michaela.
Well, Michaela told me that you guys were always getting in fights because you were on meth, and I guess Rochelle and you said you would get paranoid and get upset, and then always start accusing Rochelle of stuff, and then
Accusing people of what? Accusing her of what?
Like talking to other guys and stuff like that.
Yeah. Who told you that?
Your daughter.
That's
why I'm asking.
No. We didn't have any discussion about. No, we didn't get into fights like that.
Let me ask you, is that what happened this morning? Did you guys get in a fight?
No. No.
You guys didn't get an argument? Knocked down, drag out fight?
No.
Stuff got knocked over?
No, I never told you that. I never said we were in a fight.
I'm asking you.
No.
That's what happened today.
No.
Because here's...
Why don't you, because Michaela told you that me and her had an argument before.
No, she says when you use meth, that you get paranoid, and then you guys were getting fights because you would get paranoid about things, various things.
Toby denies what his daughter has told the cops, and she's told them plenty.
How old are you, Michaela?
I am 24.
Okay. And where are you living now?
I'm living with my mother-in-law.
We're trying to figure out kind of like what's been
What's wrong with the man?
Well, just what's, I mean, I know they lived with you in, was it up in Loveland?
Yeah, well, he didn't really live there.
Right.
He brought his junk that he likes to call that he can make money off of. Never wanted to get a job.
Okay.
I mean,
I mean, has he been that way like your whole life?
No.
Or no?
No. I mean, he's always been abusive, alcoholic, drug user.
Yeah.
Leave on the holidays, events, certain things. Would leave on Christmas Day and not come back for a while, things like that. He's always been a very abusive, physically, emotionally, verbally, all that through my childhood. The domestic violence was a lot. My mom had a, what's it called, a codependency problem, where I feel like she wanted to help him and, help him through everything and be there for him. She had a problem being by herself, I feel like. And I think he manipulated her so much over the years of like staying with him or, like he's going to hurt her if she leaves, things like that. So I feel like it's kind of like a stray cat. You always feed it, it's going to come back.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So they've been together for 26 years, I guess?
Yeah.
Toby and Rochelle's 26-year-long relationship was on and off, beset by violence.
He's cheated, he's lied, he's abused her, all kinds of things. You name it.
In their latest off period, Rochelle lived with Michaela until she couldn't afford it anymore.
He stole money out because they have a joint account with GE.
Okay.
Sadly. I don't know why she did that. With a drug addict, have a joint account. He took the money, or her money, for a down deposit. Like, we paid the rent, she paid the down deposit.
I got you.
Well, we did half and half. But he took that money out of her account when we were trying to get this hotel. So me and my fiance covered it.
I got you.
Basically, she was trying to get away from him. I mean, she's always been trying to get away from him, but he's like a stray cat. She was basically homeless for a while.
So she gets the house there?
He was never involved.
Right. Now, was that from like a family member? Or
My Aunt Sherry helped her.
Okay.
It was to help her get back on her feet.
Okay.
And finally, have an establishment, your feet are on the ground,
Right, a place to play.
Yeah. And she was having fun remodeling it, you know what I mean?
Right.
Michaela's putting a whole new perspective on things. The new house in Hamilton was Rochelle's dream project, and hers alone. That is, until Toby came knocking.
Do you know when Toby started coming back around?
I have no idea.
No.
Not really.
I
didn't
know
he went missing for a while.
Right, I remember, I saw the report, like, in August.
Yeah, he went missing for a while. My mom hid secrets from us because I felt like a lot of people, because I felt like she just didn't want people to tell her something or just be like, you need to stop, or,
Right.
I felt, like people were going to be disappointed in her.
Keeping secrets from her family, Rochelle was trapped.
I always thought something, I hate to say this, I always thought something bad would happen.
Yeah.
Not like this, though, like you would hurt her.
Yeah.
But not kill her. I mean, he's physically got altercations with my fiance.
Mm-hmm.
He literally hit him with a vacuum over the top of his head.
Toby doesn't limit his violence to his girlfriend and daughter. He's willing to attack other people as well.
Do you remember what he went to prison for?
He was 15 years old, got tried as an adult for shooting 3 people. Paralyzed 1. I don't know what happened to the other one.
Do you know where that was?
This is the 1988 conviction, when Toby was just 15. But it's a pattern with him. Toby's cousin has a similar story.
He thought that Rochelle was cheating. Rochelle wasn't.
Okay.
This is backed up by a video the cops find on Toby's phone.
Stop meeting up with him. That's what you do. Stop it. Stop it now.
You were really fucking.
That's what I've asked her to do. I had to post her. Folks, you know that I would never do that.
Well, fucking everybody will know how crazy.
I am not lying. Just do I look like that? I'm drug and
Why don't you show them your track marks?
I'm just in the hospital.
I got their track marks where you shot up.
Look at them.
Toby's rants come across unstable and dangerous.
This is her making it up again. She's making it up. This girl, and I know her. I know her. I know her. And I know that she knows all of the men that she's been running into, talking to on the side here. I don't know who they are exactly, but
she's been caught. I just wanted it to be known that if anything happens, do not allow her to get away with it. Do not. I don't trust her anymore. I don't trust her anymore. And I hate to say that because I've loved her for a very long time.
And Toby's cousin certainly considers him to be capable of doing something bad.
I think anybody is capable of murdering somebody. But I know, without a shadow of a doubt, he did that to Rochelle.
Let me ask you this. What makes you think that?
Because he said it too many times.
So how many times do you think he said it?
Almost every time he comes to my house, he would, if it wasn't Rochelle he was going to kill someone else. He wanted to cut the fingers off of people. I had a cigar cutter.
It sounds like Toby was just waiting to snap.
It's because he thinks all these things.
Like the stuff about her being in a gang or
And
cheating?
she's against him. She's with them, so therefore they want to kill him, so does she.
So let me ask you this. So was she trying to get away from him now or just kind of trying to move on?
She was trying to get on with her life. That's the part where it gets all messed up. To like get away from them.
Still, there's a difference between saying something and acting on it.
I know Toby's told me so many times what he was going to do. And then it still doesn't feel like reality. Like,
did she ever tell you like any of the things he had done to her, like physically?
yeah, I mean, hitting her in the head with the axe.
Right.
He has pistol whipped her.
Okay.
He's held her down with a knife and told her he was going to cut her head off. And that's what he told me, that he's going to cut her head off and torment her mom.
Rochelle ever tell you that she was
afraid?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's why she was going to get a restraining order.
Right.
And so she had told me, because I had asked her, you know, did you get your restraining order? And she was like, I missed the court date.
If Rochelle had made her court date, then much might have been different. Instead, Toby was staying with her that fatal night of October 10th. Toby denies all of this, including that he was on drugs.
She didn't want to be doing that stuff, so I haven't been doing it.
The investigator's done with his lies.
I asked you if you washed your hands, if you scrubbed the floors, if you did anything like that.
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't scrub no floors or nothing like that.
Did you wash your hands?
I don't recall if I did or not. So why would I clean up the house, man?
This is the part that's confusing to me. Okay. I don't think what happened today necessarily was, how should I put this? I don't think you mean to hurt Rochelle. You guys
I wouldn't hurt Rochelle for nothing.
Right.
26 years I've known this woman.
Not only is the testimony of Toby's family against him, but also the physical evidence as well.
You got scratches on your arm?
Where? Show me.
Right there.
Show me. Where?
It's right there.
Where?
Right there.
That's a scratch right there?
That's a scratch right there. Yeah, there's two lines right there. What other reason could there be that she has defensive wounds on her? Okay, which means she was fighting with the person that attacked her. Okay? You had her blood on your hands. You didn't do that?
I was doing CPR.
Right.
I don't know if I, because it was around my mouth too. So,
yeah.
What's that saying that I tried to do CPR?
No, I mean, it sounds like you tried to cover it up. Because I think this was...
Hold on, just say because I wiped my mouth. I wiped my mouth, that means I'm trying to cover it up.
Why does your jacket have a knife cut in it?
A knife cut?
Yeah, it's got a hole in it from a knife.
How do you know?
We found it. We found it along with your phone and your wallet.
Where was that at?
Down in the basement, when you said you didn't go in the basement.
What was my stuff in the basement?
Well, I think you panicked and you ran downstairs trying to figure out what to do. Because you didn't mean to kill Rochelle, but you did.
No, so you're saying that there was a knife hole, and
yeah,
I never got stabbed by anybody.
Then why would you have a knife?
I don't have a knife hole in my jacket, man. You showed me where I have a knife hole in my jacket. Nobody stabbed me with a knife. You know this.
I know that.
So why are you saying that I had
You guys found out about it.
Oh my
Because I
God.
think you were upset. Listen, I think you were mad out and probably paranoid. And then you got mad about something, you pulled
What
out.
did I get mad about?
I don't know, that's what I'm asking.
You weren't mad at me.
Because otherwise, it just seems like you did this and then try to cover it up. Otherwise, there's a big difference between you were messed up, you got upset, and you basically, you out of your mind and you did something.
So did I seem like I was out on the road?
When you were in here earlier, yes.
Because you wouldn't let me call my daughter.
I talked to your daughter. Your daughter, I asked your daughter, I said, who do you think hurt your mom? You know who she told me?
No.
You. Your own daughter told me that she said,
I would never hurt my Rochelle. She knows I wouldn't hurt Rochelle.
I don't think you did it on purpose.
Listen to me.
Listen.
Look here, man. I'm going to tell you something. You found my jacket with a knife hole in it. Did you find blood on it too?
I don't know. I haven't checked it.
Well, why wouldn't you check it?
Because I haven't had time.
Well, how would you put a knife hole and there's no blood on it?
That's a great question. I don't know.
But I didn't have a jacket on.
You told the officer you needed to go get your jacket.
That's what, that I needed to get my stuff. I needed to pick my stuff up. My stuff was laying right there right where the phone was charged at.
No,
that's where it was.
It was down in the basement.
My stuff was right there right when you walked in the door, right to the left there. My stuff was charged, and all my stuff was right there.
Then why is your wallet downstairs?
The shape of the cut in Toby's jacket matches that of the Swiss Army knife. It's another damning clue. He's scrambling for excuses.
There wasn't 3 people in there.
No, I know the 3 people in there, but they left. I know who the 3 people are, and they left, and they were at other jobs.
What were they doing there?
The gas stuff.
They said it.
Yes. Right, and I'm not disputing that at all. I'm disputing the fact that you keep saying that it must have been them.
I never said it was them.
You did earlier when I talked to you.
You're lying. You're lying. I said it.
You told me I needed to go find out who they were.
Yeah, of course I would. Why wouldn't I say that? But I never told you they did it.
He tries to point to the gas workers again, but it's no use. The cops know they're innocent.
Was there anybody else in the house?
I don't know. I don't know. There were supposed to be people that were doing the hot water down there. There was somebody supposed to come and look at the steps. So
who was supposed to come?
I don't know.
They know there is no guy. Toby's just trying to save himself. When the cops leave him alone, he starts to talk to himself again.
What a foul lying. Never mopping the blood, you liar. You liar. Saying I cleaned up the scene, you liar.
He hasn't confessed, but the evidence is damning, and he's indicted for murder. At the same time, he has to undergo trial for the drug charges. There, he takes the stand, where he tells a whole new story, that after the suitcases were left outside overnight, he discovered a suspicious package inside one of them. He immediately delivered it to the police department. This seems like a ridiculous story, and the jury doesn't believe it either. He's found guilty and sentenced to 11 to 16 and a half years in prison. He's serving this out when he appears in court for his second trial on the count of murder. This is usually where our story ends, but Toby's erratic behavior continues even in the courtroom. His public defenders keep withdrawing from his case. One of them tries to exhume Rochelle's body for a second autopsy, which yields no meaningful defense. And by September 2024, when his trial is scheduled, he's on his 6th lawyer. At the beginning of the month, this lawyer too files a motion to withdraw and to allow Toby to represent himself. Toby tries to ask for a continuance. When the judge denies it, he says he won't have time to review all the evidence and prepare his case without one, so he withdraws his motion to represent himself. He still has a lawyer, but that doesn't stop him from incriminating himself. Michaela attends the first day of the trial. She's set to be the state's first witness, but even before opening statements, Toby has something to say to her.
All right.
Has he just admitted what he did to her mom? The state prosecutor certainly thinks so. He uses it in his opening statement.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see here, I have an opening statement prepared. However, sometimes things happen where you have to change on the fly. So I'm still going to give you this opening statement. However, I'm going to tell you something first up front. So probably 30 minutes ago from now, you all were back in the jury room. Mr. Madden was brought into the courtroom here. The record was on. We had to deal with some preliminary matters before you were all brought in. Mr. Madden saw Michaela Madden in the back of the courtroom, and the rest of family members. And he turned to them and said, as he made a motion of this, I'm responsible for what happened to her. I didn't mean it. I love you. That was recorded, and you're going to hear that recording during this trial.
Over the next 4 days, the state presents its case. The physical evidence that there was no one else in the house, that someone tried to clean the knife, and that the knife had created a cut in Toby's jacket. They call family members to testify about Toby's paranoia and violence. And throughout, Toby acts aggrieved about the proceedings. He complains to the judge that the jail won't let him shower. She tells him she has no power over the jail and its rules. On the 5th and final day, both lawyers are preparing for closing arguments. But Toby has a bone to pick with his defense.
He refused to do that. So there's so many things that I thought that I just wanted to put on the record. And that's all I have to say right now.
Is there anything else, Mr. Wilder?
Judge, I'm not going to respond to the allegations because if I were to do that, I would be breaking attorney-client privilege, and I'm not going to do that at this point. I'm prepared to argue his case as best I can based on the limited discussion we've had about the case. Despite my many efforts and meetings with him, not having a lot of information about the situation that occurred has limited me,
But his lawyer says he hasn't been forthcoming enough, and that's why their case has been weak. The judge takes no action on this basis, and she lets them proceed with their closing arguments. But there's more drama to come.
Each stab wound brought her closer to. She got butchered in the home that she was renovating. And I ask that you hold this defendant responsible for killing her. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say that state exhibit
Jurors, I'm going to ask you to return to the jury.
State exhibit 66 is a stick in there. And I also, if you look at the video of them questioning me down at the police station, if you look at it, they asked me, how did the blood get in the sink? I told them that there was blood on my face after I was doing CPR, and I told them that I went to the sink.
At this time.
Look at state number exhibit number 66. Ask for it back there and see. There's a stick right there. They won't. There's plenty of things they won't bring to you. Ask for it. Right?
You can get that. Okay, now.
Right.
Okay, so.
I know you're not commenting.
The court is not going to tolerate. Let me get back on from here.
You're not, listen,
All right,
what
we're
you're
going
not
to
going
move
to
to
do
the
is I'm not
defendant to
going to
the
sit
upstairs
here
room
and
location and
allow
take a
you
recess.
to.
Thank you.
This is what you did the last time when you want to come running down the hall this time? You got something to say?
Toby is removed from the courtroom following his outburst. The jury were hustled out as soon as he started speaking, but he hasn't helped his case.
We, the jury, being duly impaneled, find the defendant, Toby Madden, guilty of murder as charged in the indictment. The verdict form is signed in ink by all 12 jurors.
He's found guilty of murder and felonious assault charges. The judge sentences him immediately, adding a further decade to a sentence of 15 to life. He won't be eligible for parole for 25 years when he'll be 79. At sentencing, he tries to apologize.
I'm truly sorry to my family.
But he continues to blame his legal counsel.
I told Mr. Wilder that I'm responsible, that I committed this offense. And I told him how, and I told him what happened. I went into detail, and I told him what happened. And for some reason, he chose to allow the state to perform an act of there and state that I tried to hide everything that I done, and except I didn't do it. I never mentioned that one time that I didn't do it. I told these officers, these deputies, that I done it, and he knows that too.
At last, is this a real confession?
That there's some discrepancies here that aren't matching up, and there's so many that I can put you on the trail to, and the chemicals beds are laying right on the floor. But when you're poor, this man I never saw for almost 4 months.
All right, Mr. Madden, I'm going to interrupt you. Okay, let's go ahead and mute it.
He's still trying to cast the blame on someone else, and the court doesn't let him get away with it. He's taken away. But why did he do this? Why did he kill the woman he supposedly been in love with for the last 26 years? Money? Jealousy? A meth frenzy? We'll never know for certain. Only that it was the last in a long line of abusive acts toward a woman he tried to control, and nothing will bring her back. If you or someone you know is experiencing abuse, the U.S. National Domestic Violence Hotline is available 24/7, 365 days a year. 1-800-799-SAFE-7233 or thehotline.org. What do you think about this chilling story? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe. Keep up with our channel, and we'll see you very soon.
It sounded like the beginning scene of like Criminal Minds or something, you know? Like when somebody's tied up and they're trying to get out, and then all of a sudden the screaming got really, really loud and really intense.
Alton, Illinois. A man can be seen on CCTV just after midnight coming out of a house, carrying a white laundry basket down a quiet street. He walks behind a smoke shop and disappears from view. At the time, no one knew what was inside the basket. It wouldn't be until the next day when a construction worker finds something disturbing.
I take him to the dumpster. So when I took him to the dumpster, there's a lot of clothes and shit in there, all strode all over, laundry basket, and there was a couple pair of shoes. Shoes was some slipper shoes too. Slipper shoes. Okay. They was red. They had blood on them. They all look like female shit. For real though. Male shit too.
Female and male clothes?
Yeah.
Okay.
The next day, around 1 p.m., this mother, Heidi Noel, arrives at her daughter Lisa Dodd's apartment. Lisa is 22 and currently 8 months pregnant. Heidi hasn't heard from her in over 15 hours since the night before. Something feels off. She lets herself in. 2 minutes later, other residents can be seen opening the door. Heidi steps back outside, visibly shaking. The neighbors' expressions say everything. And then Heidi makes a chilling 911 call.
911, what's the address? Yeah. Hi. Listen. What's going on? My girlfriend's daughter is killed. Yeah. What's going on there? My girlfriend, I'm sorry, my daughter's, she chopped her head off.
Police arrive shortly after and discover the lifeless body of Lisa. We'll walk you through exactly what happened to Lisa Dodd the night she was murdered. With never-before-seen footage, we advise viewer discretion as some of its contents may be disturbing. Now, let's dive into the chilling murder of Lisa Dodd. Lisa was living in Alton, Madison County, in Illinois, a suburb of St. Louis, in which she was born. Though it has a far higher crime rate than that of Illinois as a whole, it's where she felt at home, and the residents of this quiet street feel the same. In this surveillance footage, they can be seen taking the trash out, going to work, and carrying out other errands. But all that is about to change. Further up the road, there's construction work going on. Trash from the construction site, like bits of drywall, are going in a large red dumpster parked on the street outside. And on the morning of June 9th, one man carrying old drywall out discovers something in the dumpster that shouldn't be there.
This is what the knife looked like. Down like that.
Okay.
That short, with teeth on that mother.
So like a paring knife?
Like with teeth on it, like you cut meat.
Like serrated?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that. That's what the knife looked like. Just
Was
like
the
this.
handle longer than the blade, or was the...
No, it was short, about like this.
About...
Yeah, like that. Yeah, that long.
And when you picked up the knife, did you pick it up by the blade? Did you pick it up by the handle?
Pick it up by the blade. I mean by the handle.
By the handle?
Through that mother.
I got you.
There's oh shit, blood on it. That.
Was the blood on the handle? Was it on the blade? Was it covered in it?
Well, I it was on the blade.
It was on the blade?
Yeah.
The contractor knows something isn't right about this scene, and he wants to get as far away from it as possible. This is the first sign that this June 9th isn't going to be as ordinary a summer day as the local residents first thought.
Got a message from her last night.
What time did you last hear from her?
It was like 9:05 or so. I had sent her a text, and she said they were talking. And then I tried again at 10, and she didn't answer. And then I tried this morning 2 times, and she didn't answer. And so then I came over here because she usually answers.
Okay. So last time we talked to her was last night when she sent your text message, right?
Yes.
Okay. The officers are coming. They'll be there.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Okay. Okay.
First responders are dispatched at 12:59 p.m., and they arrive to find Heidi still sitting on the steps, crying.
Where we going, hon?
Apartment 4.
Is anybody else here?
No, I didn't see
Do you have a key to get in? Right here. This one. Do you have the key?
Oh, I'm sorry.
She gives them the code to enter the apartment building, and though they know what they're going to find, it never gets any easier.
Evan, watch the rear.
Lisa's apartment is on the second floor. The door is unlocked.
Oh, please, Marvin, if you're here, make yourself known.
They discover her body in her bedroom. At least they think it's her body. Her head appears to be wrapped in a towel like a turban, but underneath the turban, her head is gone. It's been cut off.
She wasn't kidding. Can we go sit on these front porch steps, though? Okay.
Well, I don't want to bother those people.
You know what? I'll tell them.
My car.
I'll tell them to go away. Okay.
It's okay.
Well, I just. Sir. Apartment 4 upstairs to the right.
Oh my God.
Here, let's
Oh God, Lisa, why didn't you listen?
take some big deep breaths for me, okay?
And then I touched her, and she was cold, and so then I wanted to make sure that he just strangled her.
Mhm.
And then there wasn't a head. Please find her head.
No one else is in the apartment. There's no sign of a murder weapon, and there's no sign of Lisa's head either. Her killer must have disposed of it elsewhere. Not only has Lisa been murdered, but her body has been desecrated. And this peaceful neighborhood has been torn apart.
They let us know that somebody was found dead next door. To have to lose a child that way, and that baby is an extension of her mother and the rest of her family, so they lost a child as well. They lost 2.
So how did we get here? What happened to lead this young woman who had her whole life ahead of her and was soon to be a mother to such a horrible end? To understand how this crime unfolded, we'll need to go back 24 hours. We find Lisa just living her life, looking forward to her future ahead. Here she is on her porch at just before 2 p.m. on June 8th, scrolling on her phone and looking out at the lawn. In 10 hours, she'll be dead. Lisa Dodd was born in Alton, Madison County on August 14, 1999. She was a bright and enthusiastic child with a particular love for animals. For her 10th birthday, instead of receiving presents, she opted to organize a fundraiser for Riverbend Humane Society, a local no-kill animal shelter in Jerseyville. She continued to have a caring attitude throughout her teenage years. She graduated from Jersey Community High School in 2017 and started to work at Dairy Queen, where customers remember her as a vibrant and friendly server. But she wasn't just in it because she enjoyed socializing with her customers. She was saving up to realize her ambitions of going into the medical field, like her mom before her. In June 2022, she was also 8 months pregnant. The baby was going to be a girl.
I had just sent out invitations prior Saturday for the baby shower. We were just excited and kind of gathering the items you need to have a baby.
Lisa hadn't yet decided on a name for her baby. The family were just calling it Baby Bean, and they were looking forward to the birth and everything that would come afterwards.
She was just a loving soul, just a beautiful soul. And I just wish she would have known how loved she was. You know, that she wouldn't have ever been alone, that she could have gotten out of this relationship and had a full life.
Lisa was in an on-again, off-again relationship with a man named DeAndre Holloway, another Illinois native. DeAndre is the same age as Lisa. It's unclear how they met, but they've been seeing each other for a while, nearly 2 years. DeAndre also has some issues. He uses substances, and he's had a difficult home life, according to his half-sister, PJ.
How long has he not lived there?
He moved out when he was about 18.
And how old is he now?
21.
Okay. Where did he go when he moved out?
I'm not sure.
Okay. What do you know about DeAndre's life currently, like about like his relationship status and things like that, and his where he lives and things like that?
He lives pretty much with everybody. He lives with his girlfriend, but whenever they get into it, he hops in different people's homes.
He's also taken Lisa with him on this shiftless lifestyle in the past. At one point, according to her old boss at Dairy Queen, the couple were homeless, living in a tent by Lake Litchfield.
I think she was making up a story.
Okay.
And then she finally did tell me that she had some problems with her boyfriend, was hitting her, and they were actually homeless and were living out at the campground at the lake.
At the start of 2022, they'd moved into the apartment building in Alton. But things weren't going well between the couple.
She had a lot of personal problems with a boyfriend, a lot of calling off. She had a lot of black eyes when she would come in. When she first started, she would make excuses that her dog had jumped up and hit her and caused her black eyes. She was constantly running late, for personal reasons. Always something coming up. She had a lot of black eyes, a lot of bruising on her arms, where you could see, maybe grabbing.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
Lisa's boss once even witnessed one of these altercations.
What specifically did you see when the day you actually witnessed her being battered? What did you see?
A punch in the face.
You saw Mr. Holloway punch her
face.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were they in the car when that happened, or were they outside the car?
No, they were in the car, and we have cameras on the back of the building. We actually tried to roll the cameras back, but they're not very good definition, so we weren't able to actually see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was he in the driver's seat?
Yes, he was.
Okay. And did she return to work after that happened?
She did.
And did you see any? Did she have any visible injuries on that occasion?
Her face was red.
Okay. And did she say anything, or was she confronted about that?
I asked her about it, and she said they had gotten in an argument. Eventually, after the excuses about the dog and things like that stopped, she was honest about it and just said that they were always arguing and fighting, and then they would make up and it would happen again.
Okay. Did she, specifically that day when she was struck? Was there any conversation after the fact when she comes back into work about the police or?
I wanted to call the police, and she did not want to do that.
Okay.
On one occasion, in July 2021, Lisa landed in the hospital after DeAndre apparently broke her nose and gave her 2 black eyes. They'd also been seen arguing on the street in the past. And following one such argument, a witness saw DeAndre punching himself in the face as if to punish himself. It got bad to the extent that in September 2021, she texted her boss.
My boyfriend beat me again, and I had to go to my mom's. They're wanting me to stay in a safe place because he's threatened before to harm us. Is there any way I could get my shift for tomorrow covered until things settle down a little? I can work the rest of the week. We're just trying to make place to stay safe.
This didn't last, however. Lisa and DeAndre were back together soon enough. In May, DeAndre introduced Lisa to his half-sister, PJ. According to her, DeAndre was the father of Lisa's baby.
So you can tell she's pregnant?
Yes.
And I know this is a dumb question. Did he say it was his?
Yes. They both did, yeah.
And whenever they fight, what does he do? Where does he go?
He just takes off, and nobody knows where he goes.
Do you know that they fight a lot before? Or?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
He told me.
He'd been texting a friend about his poor mental state. On June 5th, just after midnight, he wrote, "I feel like it's all the emotions I've ever put to the side just coming out now at once for real. My cup filled up and now it's got to spill over. I don't know how to healthily let out emotions without snapping or crying because I'm too pissed to talk." He also wrote, "I've always had to be the man even when I was a kid, and was always put in grown man situations with so much pressure on me, and even to this day still." He sounds like a man close to his breaking point. And on Tuesday, June 7th, DeAndre went missing. PJ added Lisa on social media as the family tried to search for him.
I'm currently friends with her now because we were looking for him yesterday because he just went missing.
Okay.
So I found her on Facebook and tried to get some information to see if she knew.
How does it start?
The first person she called was my grandma, and she asked my grandma if he was at her house, and she said no. And the girlfriend said that he didn't come home Tuesday night into Wednesday, and she was looking for him and stuff, and she thought that he may have went to my grandma's house. So my grandma called me and asked if he was up there or if I heard from him.
Lisa came home from work on Tuesday to find that DeAndre wasn't there. He hadn't said anything about when or if he'd be home. Lisa, pregnant nearly to full term and with a lot on her plate, was understandably stressed out. She texted her mom about it at around 9 p.m. on June 7th. She wrote,
"You think he'd just leave like this?"
fretting that he'd taken some clothes with him and that he deliberately left, never to return.
"I think I got left."
Heidi tried to comfort her, looking for a silver lining in the situation. She'd been concerned about her daughter's relationship for some time now, and this seemed like maybe a blessing in disguise. "If this is how it's meant to happen, at least it was nonviolent," she wrote. And, "You've been set free." Lisa replied.
"I'm not seeing it that way yet."
Heidi asked, did he talk about anything going on he wanted to go to? But Lisa had no answers. She just replied,
"No, we just had a weird day."
And said that she'd reacted badly to him that day. Her mom dug for more information, and Lisa said,
"I broke a razor down and cut my leg because I told him I was just going to kill myself."
"Why were you going to kill yourself?" her mom asked. This calm response possibly indicating it wasn't the first time she'd heard something like this from her daughter. Lisa told her,
"Because I just can't get it right."
If DeAndre had been spiraling, then clearly so had Lisa. The relationship was a powder keg waiting to explode. But in the end, Heidi convinced her that stressing out wouldn't help her or her baby. Eventually, Lisa went to bed, but not before taking her car out on a half-hour nighttime drive at 1:39 a.m., too anxious to sleep. The next morning, at 7:06 a.m., she texted her mom. Still no. DeAndre still hadn't come home. She went through her morning routine, washing her work clothes for her shift later as if it was a normal day, but she felt like something was seriously wrong. She wrote,
"I still feel like he'll show up, but I can't tell."
This is when she started reaching out to DeAndre's family, including his half-sister, PJ. Heidi suggested, "You could call APD and ask if he was arrested, or ask Joe if there was anything weird on the cameras." Joe was Lisa's landlord. She did as her mom suggested and texted him.
My boyfriend didn't come home last night, and he left his phone. I was wondering if you could watch the cameras and tell me if you see him leave and what he was wearing. His family and I are really worried.
The CCTV showed that DeAndre had gone out with his Uncle Marty, his dad's brother, on Tuesday evening.
The girlfriend called the landlord to their apartment because they have cameras around the apartment and stuff. And she asked the landlord if he can go back and look at the cameras and stuff to see if he saw DeAndre, which he did. It was like around 6:24 when he left the apartment, and he went with his uncle that lives in St. Louis.
Is everybody relieved at that point, or like?
Not really, because the girlfriend said that his uncle was supposed to bring him back that night, and he's supposed to call like before 10, and then it was after 10.
But he didn't come back that night. PJ went to bed early on the evening of June 8th without hearing anything else. Lisa, meanwhile, received a message out of the blue at about 8 p.m. from DeAndre's uncle, saying he was bringing DeAndre back and that everything was fine. With his uncle, that's who called anyway. Her mom replied, "Where does his uncle live?" And that's still across the bridge, Lisa said, and yeah, I agree. Heidi wasn't happy about the way her heavily pregnant daughter was being treated. She didn't trust DeAndre at all. She told Lisa, "And of course it's your fault. That, and you better be careful so he doesn't give you something that Bean will catch." Ignoring this advice, Lisa went to pick DeAndre up. They could be seen here on CCTV arriving back at their apartment at 9:11 p.m. While in the car, Lisa texted her mom, "I'm trying to figure it out." This was the last text she'd ever send, and this CCTV image is the last time she'd ever be pictured. At 10:49 p.m., Heidi texted, "You okay?" and received no reply. By then, Lisa was already dead. Over the next few hours of CCTV, various neighbors come and go. Neither Lisa nor DeAndre are seen again. Until 11:57 p.m., when DeAndre comes out. He's carrying a white laundry basket. He comes to stand next to Lisa's car without getting inside, suggesting he's forgotten the keys. He's changed his clothes, and he's now wearing dark shoes and a face covering. He goes back inside and comes out again a few minutes later, again carrying the laundry basket. He walks out of frame and towards a nearby smoke shop, around the back of which is a dumpster. CCTV from a local business displays the rest. At 1 minute past midnight, we can see the white laundry basket being thrown into the dumpster, alongside some clothes. This laundry basket, as the police will later discover, contains Lisa's head. 2 hours later, her car is missing from the parking lot. DeAndre has gone to his mother's house.
And then my sister said around 2:30 in the morning that he's like banging on the door and stuff, and he's like pacing and like acting nervous.
Where?
At my house.
This morning?
Yeah, this morning at 2:30.
PJ finds him in the bathroom at around 10 a.m. the next morning, June 9th, 3 hours before Lisa's mom will discover her daughter's body.
I seen my grandma standing in the doorway to the bathroom, and I looked, and I'm like, "Oh, there's Dee." And then he was cutting his hair off and stuff, and I asked him why he was cutting his hair off, and he just said a fresh start.
Okay. And what's his demeanor like?
He was like nervous, like you can tell he was like really nervous.
Just your personal opinion, why do you think he's cutting his hair off?
Got in trouble.
DeAndre hasn't cut his hair in 2 years, and he's proud of his dreadlocks. Why would he be cutting his hair off today of all days? He asks his mom if he can take a shower and have some clothes. She gives him a change of clothes, including a pair of gray sweatpants.
Clothes that he had on, he took them outside for some reason, and then he set it by the sidewalk, and then he comes back in, and then he was...
Did you see him take those clothes off?
Yes.
So is that why because you said he didn't have a shirt to wear. So when do you see him take the clothes off?
He had a hoodie on and some pants, and then he took his shirt off, or his hoodie off, when he was cutting his hair, I guess, because it was already off.
Mm-hmm.
And then he still had the pants on and stuff, and the hoodie was on the bathroom floor.
And then that's when he gets out and asks your mom for clothes?
Yeah.
And then he didn't have a shirt on, obviously?
Because he didn't want to put the same clothes back on.
Okay, what were those clothes?
I know it was a bucket hat. I think it was like blue.
You didn't see about a hat. He had a hat on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
He had like a bucket hat on. I think it was like blue or something.
Anything about the hoodie that you recognize?
No.
What about the shirt he had on? No. So when he gets to the shower, those clothes are all in the bathroom?
Yeah.
And then that's when he gets the gray pants from your mom, and does he ask you for a shirt?
No, I just gave him one.
Because he knew. Yeah. So then what does he do with the clothes?
After we got out of the shower, he took them outside, put them by the sidewalk where our trash can was. And then he comes back in the house, chats for a little bit and stuff. And then my grandma was cooking breakfast, and she asked him if he wanted a plate. And he said, yeah. And then that's when he went back outside. And then I guess the clothes that he had on the sidewalk, he put them in the trash, which they're in there now.
PJ was asleep when DeAndre came home that night at around 2:30 a.m., but her sister was awake.
She said that when he was banging on the door and stuff, it scared her, and she was asleep in the living room watching Netflix when I sleep, but she was awake.
These 4 girls there then? Sister, mom, grandma, all there overnight?
It was me, my mom, sister, grandma, yes. Yeah. She said that she hears like really loud banging and stuff, and then she looks out, and she said she seen D, and then when she opened the door, she looked in the parkway, in the parking lot, in our driveway, and then she said that she seen a black car, and his girlfriend drives a black car.
It seems strange to DeAndre's family that he showed up driving his girlfriend's car without his girlfriend. And the suspicious signs don't end there. His grandmother notices he's got other items of Lisa's property.
He had I don't even know what his girlfriend's name is. Okay. But anyhow, he had gave me her ID in the debit card. Okay. And I said, well, why you got her debit card? Yeah. And license, you know. And I said, now she out there driving, and then she thinks she got her license, and you got it. Then this morning, he gave me 2 keys. Okay. And I said, well, where you get these keys from? And he said he found them on the ground. But he didn't say where he found them on the ground. And I said, well, give it here. I said, then I can get in touch with her. Okay. And
you want to put that stuff in there?
I'm getting it back now.
This here?
Yeah.
Is that yours?
No, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to get it to her.
Okay, that's what I'll do. I'll take care of it.
You sure now?
Yeah.
The keys too?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay. Did he tell you what those keys were for?
He just told me he found them. Gave
what
it to
did he
me.
say to you when you asked him why he had that stuff? He didn't give you an answer?
Just look like he's in a daze or something.
DeAndre doesn't have an answer as to why he'd have Lisa's possessions. And at around midday, he leaves the house without any real word about where he's going.
He said, I'm going to cut some grass. And so she asked him, where was he going to cut grass? And he just said he's going to cut grass.
Okay. And he left on foot?
He left on foot.
It seems like DeAndre has been trying to cover his tracks. He's made himself less recognizable, changing his clothes and throwing them in the garbage. He's been carrying many of Lisa's personal belongings, which he's handed off to his grandmother to get rid of. And he's left Lisa's car parked on the street with a handwritten "for sale" sign in its window. Now he's taken off on foot. His behavior is making the truth of what happened that fateful night clearer and clearer. A truth that Lisa's mom, it seems, has known all along. She said as much on her call to 911.
My daughter's boyfriend killed her. He chopped her head off.
Heidi didn't need to catch DeAndre in the act to know what he'd done.
Are you outside the apartment right now?
Yes, yes.
What kind of a weapon does he have?
He's not here. He took her car.
Okay, the officers are coming. So you haven't heard from her boyfriend or talked to him at all?
No, I haven't.
It seems she spoke too soon when she told her daughter to be grateful things had ended safely without violence.
Even being mom, like, if you knew where he's at, would you tell me?
I would. Like, if I knew what was going on, I would tell you, but from last night of him doing the disappearing act to what's going on now, I have no clue, like, what transpired.
Are you afraid of him?
Yeah, I got an order of protection on him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what prompted you to get that?
He was staying with me for a couple days, and he was becoming frightening, like he was going to do something. So I was like, you gotta go. And so when he left, he called my daughter back and was like, I love you guys, but I'm coming back to kill you.
So what actually happened inside the apartment that night between the couple walking inside at 9:11 p.m. and DeAndre coming back out just before midnight? Their downstairs neighbors have been witnesses to a lot of the violence in their relationship.
Well, the past few days they've been arguing, and that's nothing new.
Okay.
They fight, like they used to fight all the time, and it would be loud fighting, and we actually had to call the cops on them before, because I don't know who it was, but somebody picked something up and slammed it against the wall. We assumed it was one of them throwing each other.
And on the night of June 8th, they heard it all.
Last night it was different. It was like, we got home from picking me up from work. I got home from work around 9:30-ish, and their front door was cracked, which is unusual. They don't.
9:30 p.m. last night? Okay.
They don't usually leave their front door cracked, and it was, and that was a little weird. And I heard like muffled yelling, like not screaming, but yelling in a way, kind of like in pain, like you just like snipped your finger with a scissor and you had to put some over your mouth so you wouldn't scream too loud. That's what it sounded like.
So you said it sounded like muffled screaming?
Kind of, but it wasn't too loud.
Okay.
And then later on, we heard like the apartment shakes a little bit whenever you move too much, and it started shaking. And we're like, okay, they must be fighting or something. And we were gonna wait to see if it got better, or like if it didn't, because we were just gonna go sit outside and wait it out.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to deal with it. And so whenever that was happening, the apartment was shaking, they were fighting about something, and then all of a sudden the screaming got really, really loud and really intense. And that was, I would say, probably about 9:45, 9:50. And then the apartment had like 5 or 6 loud like thuds, and they got louder and louder each time.
Okay.
And they shook the apartment as well. And that sounded more like it was coming from...
So like, what did it sound like, experienced in life, to your best ability, that would have created, or possibly created the sound that you heard?
Probably, I really don't know, other than like chopping wood.
Okay.
Because that's what it felt like. He had enough, I didn't mean to say he, but like, you know, that's what it sounded like there was enough time to do, was like, it was very constant beats too.
Okay.
So that's what made me think it sounded like that.
So do you think it sounded like an instrument hitting something, or do you think, or what? Something is making you know, kind of envision that through sound. You know what I mean? Like we hear something and our brain is gonna take that information in, right? What we're hearing, smelling, feeling, and we're gonna kind of like paint this mental picture, right?
Right.
So, what about that sound makes you think chopping wood?
It was more of how steady it was.
Okay.
Because when you chop wood, you know, you gotta lift it up, you gotta hold it, and then you gotta put all your weight into it, and all your muscle.
Yeah.
And when you do it, you go.
And you kind of got a rhythm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it had like 4 or 5, 6 of those beats, and then it just stopped. The screaming stopped, the sound stopped, the shaking stopped, everything stopped.
That chopping sound, something the neighbors couldn't bring themselves to consider, was the sound of Lisa's head being cut off.
At that point, we heard somebody walk outside, but we weren't able to see because we just glanced down the window, and from the window that the awning is right there, so we can't see down on the patio deck area, and so we couldn't see who it was, but they were out there for about 2 minutes, and then they came back in, and they came upstairs, but I was too scared to see who it was.
And then what?
We went outside to see if so my best friend came over, and because I was like, hey, something's going on, I'm not feeling so right about this. And she was like, I'll come stay outside with you. So we were standing out waiting for one of them to come downstairs, because usually after they fight, one of them comes downstairs.
Okay.
Neither one of them did, but the lights upstairs in their apartment kept turning on and off.
Okay.
So we knew somebody was up there. We assumed it was Lacey.
Okay.
But we didn't see either one of them.
The neighbor texted their landlord. She wrote, "Hey, I don't really know what to do. We got home, and as soon as we walked in, we started feeling thumps, and then someone started screaming for like 5 minutes straight. It stopped for a minute, then the thumping started back up. The neighbor's door upstairs was also cracked open." The landlord tried to get in touch with Lisa, but heard nothing in response. The neighbor said, "If we hear it back up again, we'll call the cops." But they didn't hear it start back up again because it was already too late. With all of this evidence mounting up, at around 9:30 p.m. on June 9th, the police execute a search warrant on DeAndre's mother's house. In the trash can outside it, in line with PJ's statement, they find the discarded clothing he was wearing in the CCTV footage, as well as his cut-off dreadlocks wrapped in toilet paper. There's no sign of DeAndre himself. But at 1:45 a.m., the early hours of June 10th, the investigators receive a phone call from the Gillespie, Illinois Police Department. That afternoon, they took a John Doe into custody, whom they later recognized as none other than DeAndre Holloway. The Alton Police Department had been gearing up for a manhunt, but there's no need. DeAndre was arrested in possession of cannabis that afternoon in Gillespie.
You search him? Yeah. Don't have a name. That's okay. What's her name? What'd I have? What's that? What'd I have? You have cannabis on you. Oh, that's legal. Okay, exactly. Right.
DeAndre is restless with the officers.
Need some water or anything? Yeah, I would like some water because, you guys gotta... Hey. You need some water? Yeah. Okay, please, just some water. Is it okay if I walk around? Is it okay if I stand up and take a step? Like a couple steps?
What you gonna do? Why you gotta do that? Pull your pants up or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Like I said, he's doing his job. This man has done nothing but his job, I swear to you.
You need to sit back down in the chair, please.
Didn't you just say I could pace?
No, I didn't say you could pace. I thought you said you had to get the pants. If you could sit down in there, please. Thank you.
Do you mind if I pace? Is that illegal? I'm here. I'm handcuffed.
Yeah. We don't want that. We want you to sit down.
Exactly. I know you don't want that.
So if you could please sit down, guys.
I can't. I'm handcuffed.
Yeah, you can. You can sit down.
I literally can't do anything. I'm handcuffed.
You need to sit down.
Why are you guys scared of me for what?
I'm not scared. You need to sit down.
How? If I'm literally sitting here pacing handcuffed, I can't do shit. He searched me.
Okay, so what's your name? What they're going to do is...
I literally asked if I was being detained. That man said no. And then he proceeded to ask me the same question over and over and over. And I said the same thing. And again, he's just not having it because he's got an attitude problem with me. I got an attitude problem too. I know I got one. I got one. That's why I'm not sitting down.
But you know I can make you sit down, so I'm not.
Do it.
What did I just say?
Do it. Look at me now.
I said I could.
Do it.
I'm not going to do it.
Because you're scared. Exactly. I'm handcuffed.
Scared for what?
Do it.
You know, guy, we're not going to get into this.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Well, weren't you just being mean to me though?
I'm not being mean to you.
I
said you're pacing back and forth, and you said, well, set me down. And I said I could if I wanted to, but I don't want to.
He's behaving manically, pacing, and repeatedly questioning the officers. At one point, he starts to laugh and bang his head against the wall.
Don't do that.
They just fucking did that to me. Come in here.
Don't do that.
Do something. That's what I'm saying. Do something.
Do that.
Do something.
Don't do that.
That's what I'm saying. Don't do that.
The cops take drastic measures to restrain him from hurting himself. They keep him on the floor as he assures them he's going to get out.
Just have my folks will come get me out.
Well, we don't know your name, so...
Exactly, but my folks will be there to get me out.
Who's your folks? I know who your name.
Don't worry about it.
He still refuses to tell them who he is. But it doesn't matter. The investigators from Alton come to arrest him on suspicion of Lisa's murder. They carry out a warrant for DNA, fingerprints, and other samples. And at around midday the next day, June 10th, nearly 24 hours since the discovery of Lisa's body, the investigators sit down with DeAndre for an interview. But DeAndre's not talking. He refuses to give them any information, even his name, which they already know. He just keeps saying he wants to go to work, though it's not clear if he's actually employed. He also says he's dissociated and that he's once been prescribed medication by a doctor. After this, he asks for his lawyer, and the investigators comply, terminating the interview. On June 13th, DeAndre is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of intentional homicide of an unborn child, a human body, offenses relating to motor vehicles, and concealment of homicidal death. Bond is set at $2 million. The case leads to a lot of local emotion, including from the police chief.
What happened to 22-year-old Lisa Dodd, who had just moved to this place in Alton, is beyond irreprehensible. It is completely terrible what happened to her. Her unborn child was also killed as a result of this.
DeAndre's family, however, entreat the public to take the nuances of his circumstances into account. His stepfather, Chris Hawk, takes to YouTube to talk about it on June 16th.
I never thought I would be recording a video like this. First of all, I want to offer my condolences to the Dodd family. I cannot imagine what you must be going through. I'm not going to deny that what happened was an extreme act of evil. It was. I don't know how else to explain it. It was an act of evil. I don't know if there's a word that describes it. And over here we are ashamed. His mom, his sister, we're all shocked. We knew he was capable of violence, but we never saw this. We've been trying to get help for him for at least 3 years. But as far as longer term mental care, we were always told that we can't hold them unless they've done something.
He doesn't deny the horror of what DeAndre's done, but he attributes DeAndre's actions to his mental state, something his family has been trying to do something about for years, but he says the system wouldn't let them.
Our system fails people with mental problems. I've grown up in an environment with mental problems, and people are kind of left on their own. It's a tragic situation. This is the D that we knew. They're old pictures, but they show that there's a human there. The human does exist. He's not a monster. What he did was monstrous. He's not a monster. I'm not advocating that DeAndre should ever be allowed to enter civilized society again. I mean, he's obviously crossed a line there. I'm not advocating anything like that. I'm just saying there's a human being here, and it's tragic. It's tragic what mental illness has done to him.
These are the early days of the case, when DeAndre's only just been charged, and he's not doing well in jail. He's been refusing to come out of his cell and making threats to corrections officers. These included saying, "I will cut off your head." He refuses to attend his virtual court appointment on June 14th, and officers forcibly restrain him to bring him to court. These issues remain in his case. He's found mentally unfit to stand trial and undergoes treatment at a state institution until he regains competency to face the charges. At the same time, the Illinois Supreme Court rules that an unborn child cannot be considered a second murder victim for the purpose of seeking a life sentence. This impacts the sentence that can be sought in DeAndre's case. But in January 2024, he enters a guilty plea. On January 17, 2025, he is sentenced to 60 years in prison. This includes 30 years on the murder charge, 20 on the homicide charge, and 10 on the concealment charge to be served consecutively. He'll have to serve at least 52 years before he's eligible to be released. There remain no real answers as to why he killed Lisa, though there's plenty of speculation out there. Jealous that she was having another man's baby, snapping under the stress of a failing relationship, or just finally going too far in a continued pattern of violence. We'll never know the truth. Lisa's family, meanwhile, continues to mourn.
We're here to announce that DeAndre Holloway was convicted and sentenced in the murder of Lisa Dodd and her unborn child today to 60 years in prison. And I want to introduce Heidi, Lisa's mother and grandmother of the unborn daughter, to give a few words reflecting on today's verdict and sentence.
I would like to thank the many law enforcement agencies that collaborated on my daughter's case. A special thank you to Officer Wimmersberg of the Alton Police Department for his excellent work on this case. I am forever grateful for your time and wisdom.
This is a tragic outcome of a 2-year on and off again domestic violence relationship. This didn't have to end this way. My daughter should be here raising her toddler
instead of being a casualty of domestic violence. If you have a mental instability or mental illness, seek treatment and be consistent with your treatment. Understand that your condition or illness will not keep you from being held accountable for the crimes you commit. If you are in a domestic violence relationship, if someone is emotionally, mentally, or physically abusing you, make a safe plan to leave that relationship. If they continually disrespect your boundaries, make demeaning comments, and control your every movement, this is abuse. Find the resolve to leave that relationship. If someone threatens to end your life, believe them. If they can say it, think it, and talk about it, they can carry out the threat. Reach out to your local, regional, or national resources that are available to assist you in making a safe plan to leave. Your life depends on it. It isn't easy, and it may be one of the hardest things you do, but your life is important, and you are worthy and deserve a life free from abuse.
I want to say that you don't often see the kind of strength that the family of Lisa has exhibited in this case. Incredible strength, incredible grace in the courtroom today with her statements to the defendant who lived the life of her daughter and granddaughter, and who over years, as she said, had abused them, and is now going to face decades in prison for the crime of murder for 2 lives, not just one, the mother and the unborn child. And I just want to commend the family that say that it's very inspirational to see the kind of strength that you've shown, and I'm sure that everyone in the courtroom experienced the same thing. And I also want to say this case has a deep meaning, I think, to every mother, and there were aspects of this case related to the unborn child who died that were extremely moving. One in which, Lisa's last act, her hand was resting on a book about pregnancy. So her last thought was probably about her unborn child. And so there's a beauty there in those last moments. And I think that she's with us now.
Her mom wrote to their GoFundMe page, "This sentence brings some resolution to a heinous crime. No sentence or amount of time will bring my daughter or granddaughter back, but this sentence should ensure he's not able to hurt anyone else. As I mentioned in the previous update, any donations received will be donated to our local domestic violence resource. The GoFundMe has made $16,000 so far." And as we end this story, we leave you with a poem Lisa once shared on her Facebook page.
After a while, you learn the subtle difference between holding a hand and chaining a soul. And you learn that love doesn't mean leaning, and company doesn't mean security. And you begin to learn that kisses aren't contracts, and presents aren't promises. And you begin to accept your defeats with your head up and your eyes open, with the grace of a woman, not the grief of a child. And you learn to build all your roads on today, because tomorrow's ground is too uncertain for plans, and futures have a way of falling down in mid-flight. After a while, you learn that even sunshine burns if you get too much, so you plant your own garden and decorate your own soul, instead of waiting for someone to bring you flowers. And you learn that you really can endure, that you really are strong, and you really do have worth. And you learn and learn. With every goodbye, you learn. The end.